Hey guys, what's going on? I want to quickly apologize that Weird News wasn't yesterday, but instead today you're going to have like 2-for-1 Thursday. So it's going to be Weird News earlier in the day, and then later tonight you'll get Dumb Yahoo Answers, so long as I don't fall into another nap coma. I don't know if you guys know what a nap coma is, but it's like when you go for a nap, and you only intend to sleep for maybe like an hour or something, but then you end up sleeping like 3 hours. Yeah, that's what happens. So, you know, whatever. Crap happens. Let's get to Weird News. So I know there have been multiple times on Weird News where I've talked about someone burglaring a home naked. And apparently there's like an epidemic of naked burglars for some reason. I don't know why, but it keeps happening. But this week, this naked burglar? That's always such a hard word to say, burglar. It sounds weird. But this burglar went above and beyond normal naked burglars, and I'd like to tell you about what he did while he was in the house, which was occupied by a family. And this guy, what he first started off by doing was going onto their rooftop. So this is when the man of the house, I guess the husband, there was a husband and wife, and they had some kids. I don't know where the kids were in this story. But they were out of harm's way. I'm sure they, had their children hide. But the man of the house noticed that there was a lot of noise coming from his rooftop. He went outside to go check it out, and he saw this guy running around naked on his roof. And at that point, the guy on the roof, the naked burglar, and I don't even know if we want to consider him a burglar or just crazy, but I'll explain that further in a second. He tackled the man of the house from the roof and then ran inside their home, grabbed the TV off the wall. See, that's when you can say, is this a burglar? Was he going to take that TV? What's going on? I don't know. The whole roof thing could have been a distraction so they could open the door. Who knows? But he grabbed the TV off of the wall, and then there was a vacuum nearby, and the guy, he opened the container of the vacuum. So if you guys have ever vacuumed, you know there's a container that holds all the dust so that you can empty it and then, you can vacuum again, whatever. And the guy opened that up and must have needed nutrition or something because he ate the dust. And then he proceeded to defecate on the floor. If you don't know what defecate is, it's poop. So he was pooping on the floor. And by this time, the woman of the household had grabbed a gun and started shooting at the naked fellow and missed. She missed a bunch. And then somehow the male of the household got the gun. They, I don't know, maybe she gave it to him because she can't shoot for crap. And he held the man at gunpoint, the naked man at gunpoint. So at this time, he had kind of calmed down and he was at gunpoint. But then he began to pleasure himself. Because what better to do when you're held at gunpoint? Maybe it's a little boring. Things are awkward. Just start pleasuring yourself. And then things got a little bit weirder, and he decided to run away from the gunpoint, from being held at gunpoint, and ran into their children's room, I think it was a young boy's room, and rubbed the clothes of the child on his face. And at this time, the police had come. I'm assuming they called the police after the guy checked the roof to see what was going on. They probably called the police then. Somehow during the time the guy was defecating on the floor and eating the vacuum dust, I'm sure they called 911. So yeah, that's a weird one. Burglar or just crazy? What do you guys think? So our next story involves mammary glands, and I know how much a lot of you appreciate a good pair of mammary glands, and if you don't know what mammary glands are, boobies. So this story is so interesting, medically very interesting. In Germany, there is a military little group called the Walk Battalion, and these guys have a certain gun drill that they do. And this gun drill apparently has made, I don't know exactly what happens. I think the butt of the gun rubs up against one of their breasts, their male breasts, and it started to stimulate glands there. And so a lot of these guys are developing what looks like a female breast on one of their chesticles. So one of them, I've seen pictures. I don't know if I could show it on YouTube. I don't know if it's okay. I mean, they're males, so it's not female boobs, but YouTube's funny. So I'm sorry, you can Google it. These guys have one male looking chest. I don't know what you want to call it. And then the other side it looks like a female breast. It's very interesting. So my question is, like, is Germany going to change that gun drill? Are they going to be like, all right, maybe we should avoid that. It's a little weird. Or do they want to be like the special army? The army that has one man chest and one female chest rocking it out. I have no idea. You know what? I'd keep it. I'd be like, you want to go up against us? We are crazy. We got all kinds of boobs. A couple in Chicago has recently renovated their floor in their home. And normally that's not really a big story. It's like, oh my god, a couple renovated. Big deal. Big whoop. How weird is that? Not really, Kelly. Well, these people glued 39,000 pennies to their floor. It took them 4 months. And why I chose this story is because, have you guys ever grabbed a handful of change and then, you put it down eventually? That feeling of your hand feels very gross and it smells like metally and just disgusting. I would not under any circumstances want to walk in a bunch of change. And, I'm sure they'll clean their floor and it's going to be clean change, but I don't know, still, it kind of weirds me out. It kind of looks cool though, so here's a picture of it. I think it looks really cool, but I don't know, not my thing, definitely. Maybe cool for other people, but I don't know. I keep going back to that feeling of like having my hands full of change and that gross feeling. Ugh. Blech. Now, our final story of the day, a man in Florida was arrested after he was giving illegal butt injections. So if you guys don't know, you can get butt implants or silicone put in your butt, and it'll give your butt the appearance that it's fuller. So someone say they don't have a big butt and they want a big butt, they can get a big butt. To me, it might feel like you were constantly sitting on a seat. Like, that's what I think about when I think about how butt implants must feel like. When you sit down, it must be a weird sensation. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But anyways, this is the guy who was doing those illegal silicone injections into people's buttocks. All right. I'm not one to judge someone's appearance, and I'm not hating, but he had to have injected some of that stuff into his cheeks or his face for some reason, because what's going on with his face, that's not normal, okay? That isn't normal. Those aren't like baby full cheeks, fatty cheeks, someone with a baby face. That's like some weird stuff. So anyways, that's weird news. If you want to check out last week's episode, you can click the screen. Other than that, have a great day, guys.